Hoo-ha! Ugh. So let's do this really quick before I have to head out to work. And by the way, I'm gonna be over here because last few videos I've done, they've been sort of not as bright for some reason. So hopefully this is a bit brighter for you guys. But let me double check something here. So for episode 1, the what was it called? Striking Vipers. If you check the description box or you check the comment section down below, I actually did a whole video dedicated to reviewing that episode. So if you want to know my thoughts on Striking Vipers, outside the fact that I gave it a 10 out of 10, you can go check out that separate review. But anyway, so Smithereens and Rachel, Jack, and Ashley, whatever the fuck the episode is called. So the way that I watched season 5 was I watched Striking Vipers first, and then I watched the Miley Cyrus episode, and then I watched Smithereens. So I'm going to go in and dissect the Miley Cyrus episode. Rachel, Jack, and Ashley too. Look, let's just go ahead and get into it. All right, so this Miley Cyrus episode, I'm pretty mixed on. Like I love Black Mirror, but I just I have mixed feelings about this episode. I mean, on one level, there's no denying that it's a somewhat fun, zany, silly, far out idea. Okay, I mean, Miley Cyrus being in a Black Mirror episode. I mean, that in itself is mind fucking. But like I don't know. I mean, what's next? Like is Kanye West gonna be in a Black Mirror episode? You know what I mean? Like, he's not like Miley Cyrus. She's not exactly like someone that I would consider an actress, in my opinion. I mean, she's an artist, she's a singer, but I don't know that she's an actress. I mean, she did pretty good in this episode, I'll admit. I mean, she did pretty good in conveying, like, emotional pain or desperation or, like, rage or depression. I thought she did pretty good. I mean, she didn't blow my socks off or anything, but I thought she was just okay. Our two main characters, this chick that's like obsessed with Ashley 2, whatever the fuck. The chick who's obsessed with Miley Cyrus. This chick right here, it like, oh my god. First off, I really didn't care for this character. Like, I kind of get where she's coming from, but like, I don't know. She was just so into Miley Cyrus that like it was just disturbing. It was like her whole life revolved around this Miley Cyrus character, and like when she gets the doll, and she's like associating the doll. She's communicating with the doll as if it's like a person. It's just like, what the fuck? And I kind of liked her little emo goth kind of sister who tried to get her to snap back to reality, but I like the two sisters. I didn't really care that much for the two sister characters. Like for example, if both of them died midway through the episode, I just would have been like, what else? Oh my god. There was a scene where that one sister, she has like that violet, or she's got that like purple wig on, and she's on stage, and she's like dancing to the Ashley 2 song, and like the crowd is just so confused and not engaged, and it was so cringeworthy and so awkward. I felt so bad for that sister. I was just like, yo, that was horrifying. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the episode has some intriguing ideas, like what if these sort of Shane Dawson style conspiracy theories are actually happening to celebrities. That's kind of what this episode sort of taps into. um, I mean, conspiracy theories in general, but you know, like what if the music industry did shit like this just to produce sales or to keep a certain kind of you know, to keep an artist going a specific sort of way musically. Like, what if, like, you know, studios actually did this, you know? What if producers actually did this to artists? Like, tried to enslave them or something. I mean, it's an interesting idea. Didn't really care too much for the execution. Like, there's this one scene where that doll comes to life, you know? And Miley Cyrus inside the doll, or inside the robot, whatever. The robot's like, get that cable out of my ass, you know. I don't know. Or there was a really bizarre moment where that little robot, Ashley too, is watching the news, and it's just like this huge meta moment for the robot as the robot is like watching actual news of her actual self on TV, and that was kind of trippy. But I don't know. I really didn't connect with this episode. Again, it's a bit fun, it's silly, it's zany, but in all honesty, I don't know that I've ever been all for Black Mirror when it's at its most silly. You know, when it's trying to be sort of really tongue-in-cheek. Because there was an episode last season that like a lot of people loved, and it was kind of similar to this episode. Actually, I'm about to go find that really quick. Because there was an episode last season that people just, for whatever reason, they just fucking loved, and I totally did not connect with it. It was very similar to this Miley Cyrus episode. What was that episode? I was not fucking with it. Oh yeah, Black Museum. From season 4. That was the episode. That was the episode that people just loved, and I really did not like it. I thought it was just really over the top, really silly. Just didn't really care for it. That's kind of what this Miley Cyrus episode was like. It was kind of like it was a little too over the top, a little bit too silly for me. Personally, I don't know. Especially since it was like an hour long. It's like, oh my god. I don't know that I would ever necessarily watch it again. But it wasn't like a train wreck. I'm just in the middle. The Miley Cyrus episode, I'm kind of feeling like a 6. I'm just gonna go like a 6 out of 10 for the Miley Cyrus episode, which is unfortunate. But luckily, the episode Smithereens brought it home for me. Bizarrely, like the first 15... Yeah, I say about the first 15 minutes of Smithereens. For whatever reason, it just... I don't know. The first 15 minutes just did not connect with me at all. I thought Andrew Scott's performance was intriguing, but like that first 15 minutes was kind of rough because like there was nothing likable about Andrew Scott's character in the first 15 minutes. He came off pretty creepy, and I mean maybe that was intentional, but I don't know. It was in a bad way for me. I was just like, why are we watching this meandering series of scenes with this kind of creep guy? You know what I mean? I was just like, what's going on here? Like watching the first 15 minutes was equivalent to like watching two people laugh deliriously about an inside joke that you know nothing about and that they're not willing to let you in on. It's just like there's not a lot for me to work with here. Like I'm not being emotionally engaged. I'm not like on the edge of my seat being blown away by what's happening. It's just I don't know. Just the first 15 minutes just didn't work for me. But the rest of the episode, literally, what is it? First, like, let me see here. From the point in which Andrew Scott and the black dude he picks up from Smithereen, from the moment that these two are in the car together, driving down the road, and the dude in the back, he's got the He's got a bag over his head, you know, and they pass by like a gas station. Those two police officers see them and take off after them. From that point on, all the way to the end credits, we're talking almost a 10 out of 10 episode. I go back and forth. I mean, I didn't care for the first 15 minutes, but fuck me, everything outside of that is just fucking brilliant. It's almost like the episode completely changes when the two police officers start following them. It becomes like a completely different episode. It almost becomes equivalent to the Shut Up and Dance episode, which I think is still the darkest episode of Black Mirror so far. But yeah, you know, they crash in the middle of that field and they have this whole standoff. The level of suspense and just dread was just so ominous and just so overwhelming, like suffocating almost. The suspense was just out of this world. At times, it kind of reminded me of this movie that I really dug from way back called Phone Booth with Colin Farrell, I believe. Kind of reminds me of that. And man, this episode had me sweating. I mean, this episode is what entertainment is all about. So like when they were like stuck in the field, you know, the tires are blown out, and it's just Andrew Scott and the guy in the back. Like, I was just, oh my god, it was just insane intensity. Like, maybe the most intense episode of any TV show of the year so far. It was just unbelievable what they were able to do by making the audience try to guess what's happening and keeping us in suspense. It was just really profound. And Andrew Scott's, I'm not very familiar with Andrew Scott, but his performance in this episode is fucking masterful. Okay, it's like the stuff of legend. Okay, he is utterly and completely convincing as this man who's just down on his luck, who's in this manic state, who's borderline committing like this, it almost seems like a terrorist attack. Like, it's just, he just completely sells it. Everybody in the episode did good acting wise, but Andrew Scott is just a revelation. Quite literally maybe my favorite performance of the year. I mean, the way that he's able to convey excruciating pain, or the way that he's able to portray like little snippets of empathy, or just flat out blind rage, or just like, quaking, peaking from anger. Like, I thought he just killed it. He just nailed it. There's an excellent part where he's talking to the negotiator, and like, you can literally feel his fury as he's like shaking, and he's like looking back at the negotiator through the car, and he's like, and if you don't fuck off right now, I'm gonna shoot him right in the head. I'm gonna count to 50, and the fucking negotiator, and like the dude's like on 20, and he's like, 21, 22, I'll blow his fucking head off. 23, and the fucking negotiator's like walking away. He's like, oh fuck, does anyone have the keys? Does anyone have the fucking keys? Like, my god, the intensity was just overwhelming in this episode, okay? When that dude was just like, well, who has the fucking keys? And the fucking negotiator just speeds off. I remember just being like, my heart, like, this was just me. The whole episode. The whole time. I mean, this was like a TV episode equivalent to like, that really fucked up movie, United 93, which gave me nightmares for like 3 days straight afterwards. This is like that level of creepiness. Like, this is one of those episodes where like you could literally feel the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. It's just, whew, oh. And then when he finally gets to speak to Billy Bauer, it's fucking it's Topher Grace. It's like a really fit, sexy Topher Grace, who is just amazing. I would actually say the next best performance in this whole episode is easily Topher Grace. Topher Grace kills it as this high level tech CEO Mark Zuckerberg type who's just on a silent retreat, which looks incredible, by the way. Holy fuck, that's how he does his silent retreats. Holy shit, but you know, I loved his character. Not only was Topher Grace just incredible, but his performance as Billy was great, and the character Billy was so fascinating. I could have had another 40 minutes with just a conversation between Andrew Scott and Topher Grace, really. But when they finally speak, I cannot even describe to you the level of suspense and excitement I felt when they were finally on the phone with each other. And Topher Grace, it was just so emotionally raw. This episode, that's another thing. You know, the tension was next level. The unpredictability of the episode, like where's the episode going, was next level. I had no idea. I didn't watch the trailers, you know, so I didn't know. I didn't know that Topher Grace was. I don't even know that I really knew that Topher Grace was in this fucking season. Never mind. I definitely didn't know that he was gonna be Billy with a fucking man bun. But oh my god, I forgot where I was going. But when they're speaking together on the phone, like, you know, God, just so emotionally powerful. I actually teared up at multiple points during the conversation because it just got so deep, it got so dark, and it just became so surreal. Like, honestly, when that black dude in the back, I'm sorry, I forgot his character name, don't care. The actor did fantastic. But when the guy in the back, when he's just like, you know, it's cool, man, you know, it's fine. It's almost like he forgives Andrew Scott. And he's even like, you know, don't kill yourself, man. You don't have to. Like, for some reason, that just broke me, man. Like, the fact that this dude did all this because of that tragic moment with his girlfriend, it just felt so real. Like, everything about this felt like I would not be surprised if they directly mirrored a real life event in which something like this kind of sort of happened. I mean, oh my god. And like, even like when they first get on the phone and Topher Grace is like, hey man, I'm here. And like, it says so much about, you know, people's bouts with expectation versus reality. Like, I'm so curious what Andrew Scott's character, you know, his character envisioned this moment so many times, and I bet this conversation was totally different from however he envisioned, despite the fact that he spent so many hours thinking about it, you know. I don't know. That kind of thing's interesting to me. And, like, oh my god, when Andrew was just like when you can see the signs of disbelief and awe when Billy finally has achieved what he's been looking for, and it's like he almost can't even handle it. Like, I can relate to that, you know. Like, he's finally gotten what he wanted, but it's just like, fuck. It's like, it's still overwhelming, you know. He's still not exactly how to perfectly step forward, you know. Even though he's gotten exactly what he wanted, you know. Like literally, Andrew Scott was just like, "Is this Billy? Just give me a moment. I've been rehearsing this." And like, Topher Grace is like, it's all right, man. Just take your time. Like, it just felt so real. Oh wow, I really felt for Andrew Scott's character. I mean, seeing like these like individual veins like bursting through his eyelids. He's just like crying, borderline snot face. His eyelids, his face is quivering. His face is getting all red and shit. Like, I'm telling you, that dude's performance was just unbelievable. This cat, Andrew Scott, killed it. Just fucking killed it. Unbelievable performance. Wow. Just wow. And I really like that Topher Grace, like, he, like, legitimately felt for the dude, you know? Like, Topher Grace, he was trying his fucking best. He was trying his best he could. The way that Topher Grace was talking to him is the same motherfucking way I'd be talking to Andrew Scott's character. I would just be like, bro, I don't know. Fuck, I'm sorry, man. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck you want from me. I'm not like a god, you know what I'm saying? I'm not like some deity. Like, I'm just a human being, man. Like, I'm so sorry. That's pretty much what Topher Grace was like, and I don't know. His performance of Andrew Scott, they just killed it. Just killed it. God. So engrossing. And I loved that Topher Grace was like, if there's anything I could do, just let me know. And, like, you know, Andrew Scott thinks for a second, he's like, do you know the mate at Persona? You know, and then they call that woman and they give her the password to her daughter's account. And then I'm assuming after that Andrew Scott probably got sniped right in the back of his skull. But it's, wow, this was just such a emotionally mind-blowing, high-tension, superbly performance-driven, bittersweet, and haunting, and a haunting episode. One of the most haunting episodes from Black Mirror I've ever seen. Like, point blank, I don't know that. I mean, there's definitely scenes. There's probably, like, you know, whole sequences that I'll be rewatching. But, like, watching, I mean, if you sit down and you watch this episode, in my opinion, it's a 9. I'd give this episode like a 9 out of 10. It's near perfect for me. If you sit down and watch it, it's a 9 out of 10. I don't think. I don't know that the replay value is super high with this episode for me. This isn't like an episode I would watch all the time, but if you sit down and watch it, it's pretty masterful. I was pretty blown away. Again, I would give this episode a 9 out of 10. It just emotionally impacted me so hard that it actually bent my mind a bit and blew me away. And it has a lot to say about society's relationship with social media. Or, I don't know. I think it has a lot to say. I think it has some things to say about mental health. You know, there was a really striking piece of dialogue where the negotiator was like, you know, oh, he's one of those high intellect, low income types. Very hateful. I was like, wow, that was deep. A considerable amount of people could relate to that. I can relate to that. But, yeah, I don't know. I also love this moment where Topher Grace was just like, he was on the phone with Andrew Scott, I think, and he was like, he just stuck his arm out like that, as if he was trying to get peace of mind for a moment, almost as if he was like, God, please give me the answer to this fucked up situation. Yeah, it's a 9 out of 10. Loved this episode. And even though I wasn't 100% on board with the third episode, the Miley Cyrus episode, I gotta say, all in all, you know, all 3 episodes. By the way, I was stumped by the 3 episodes. I was like, season 5 is 3 episodes? Why the fuck would that be? That doesn't make sense. However, if you go to season 1, well, would you look at that? Season 1 is only 3 episodes. And even more intriguing, if you watch this episode, my favorite Black Mirror episode of all time, by the way, at least at the current time. If you watch this episode and then you went immediately into season 5 and watched Striking Vipers, this episode of Striking Vipers, they connect. They're very in sync with each other. Very clever. Very clever. But yeah, for me, season 5. personally, again, even though I wasn't crazy about this episode, it was still a bit fun and insane. I just thought it was pretty flawed, but oh, come on. I gave this episode 6 out of 10, gave this a 9 out of 10, gave this a 10 out of 10. Yeah, for me, season 5 is an easy 9 out of 10. So yeah, season 5, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Despite the fact that I found this to be pretty flawed, all in all, I had a blast watching season 5. It was just so unpredictable, very bonkers, very emotionally impactful, very emotional, season 5. No denying that, but even this episode was pretty emotional. I thought this episode was a little bit too out of its mind, but there were some emotional moments in there that kind of worked for me, or that did work for me, like that moment where that one chick was singing on stage, embarrassing herself. Good God! But yeah, I would give season 5 a easy 9 out of 10. This is flawed, but not enough to just taint the season just substantially so. So yeah, 9 out of 10. I had a blast with it, but what do you guys think about this? I got head out to work. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on season 5 down below, and I'm out. Peace.